So you just received your paycheck and now it's time to splurge on something cool, isn't it? Such as that Margaritaville that you just saw on Amazon and on South Park. And so after a couple of weeks you turn your bank account into a war zone, with the number of digits in the remaining balance lower than the number of fingers on the hand of a very careless woodworker, aka 2 or 3. But don't worry, I'm here to teach you some guidelines to free yourself and learn how to budget. Hi guys, my name is Giuseppe and I'm a finance graduate, former financial analyst and money nerd. And today we're going to discuss some of the essential guidelines that you want to use when it comes to budgeting and managing money whenever you get paid. So without further ado, let's get started. And we can start by talking about anything that allows you to make more than €1 with €1. Well, I'm a big fan of paying yourself first. So whenever you get paid, try to allocate an amount that is between 10% and 25% to any kind of activity that improves your financial well-being. And these can usually be related to saving for an emergency fund, paying off debt over the minimum payment, and investing in assets. And if you have a knack for investing, you might do so with Lightyear. That is an amazing and simple platform that allows you to buy ETF with zero trading fees. And you can use the code PEPPE when you open an account to get $10 of free shares. How cool is that? But please remember that your capital is at risk and the value of your investment can go up and down. So to avoid this amount of money to be eaten by all the other expenses, I prefer to prioritize putting aside money for investing, paying off debt, or saving. Why so? Well, think about it. Whenever you are saving, investing, or paying off debt, you're putting yourself in a better spot financially compared to where you were 1 month before. This is because you're taking advantage of time. You're progressing your net worth, in simpler words. If you invest, your money can take advantage of the compounded interest, yielding a return. If you pay off your debt over the minimum payment, you're killing a negative component of your net worth and avoiding paying interest. So in this case, your money avoid a negative return. And if you save for an emergency fund, you're making sure that you're not gonna need debt to face life hurdles. That, as we said, has a negative return on it, the interest rate. So in this case, again, your money avoid a negative return. So in each of these activities, you're getting more bang for your buck. And that is why there should be a priority for you before any other expense. So whenever I get paid, I try to allocate an amount that is between 10% to 25% of my income to any kind of activity that can improve my financial well-being. Ideally, you want to keep this part of your income at least at 20% of whatever comes into your pockets. But yeah, after this recent wave of inflation, it might be very hard to reach 20%. And this might be an objective that is a luxury for many, since we have the next part of our budget that has been inflated a lot. And the next part of our budget is everything that we need to survive. Well, without disturbing Maslow and its pyramid of needs, what do we need to survive and do our jobs? Housing, so rent or mortgage, but also utility bills on top of that. We definitely need food, but also transportation and health insurance. Basically, this is the category that includes everything that you need to survive and produce an income. It is usually the biggest one, and it definitely grew a lot in the last 5 years, with housing prices becoming out of control and groceries becoming basically something to flex for. Being such a big expense generator, this is usually the category that should be reevaluated more frequently. Maybe you can consider renegotiating your utility bills or your phone bills. Or maybe you just want to downsize your home or move a little bit more in the suburbs, especially if your job allows remote work. And finally, you might consider paying more attention to groceries, promotions, and the saving that you can get by buying in bulk. This part of your budget is usually going to employ at least 50% of your income, more likely even 60%. And finally, we have anything you want. Here we have the funny part. From here, you have to budget all the discretionary expenses to avoid living a life of misery in the hope of becoming rich one day. Here you have everything like restaurants, clothes, vacation, hanging out, and so on. Here you can also put a Margaritaville monthly payment if they fit. This part is highly discretionary and depends a lot by your lifestyle. It's usually gonna take 20 to 30% of your income, depending on how much you're squeezed with your basic expenses. And now, starting from this, what can we do to grow our wealth? As always, money is just simple math. This money budgeting must be done on your monthly income. Anything that is actually growing our wealth is located in the first part, the one dedicated to saving, investing, and paying off our debt. In the other parts, the only thing that can increase our net worth is going to be the constant repayment of our mortgage, if we have any. So to be able to grow our wealth, we need to make this first part of this budget more relevant. And we can do so in two simple ways. Decrease our expenses, so cutting to the bone anything we need or anything we want, but this is a very good way to burn out completely, ending up living with rice and beans for the rest of our lives. This though has the advantage of being easily doable and actionable, since it is pretty much under our control, but this can make our life miserable and terrible. So I don't want you to think about this in terms of scarcity, but in terms of abundance. So we just are left with another option, that is make more money. And although this is harder, it is definitely a better way to improve. Think about it. Work makes you money in two ways. The first one is that you get paid for what you do. And the second one is that you're not spending money when you're working. So think about how you can increase your responsibility at work, how to get a promotion, increase the amount of variable pay that you can get, or do any freelancing on the side. But as your income grows, you have to keep your needs and wants in check. So you might decide to switch from percentages to a fixed amount of money for these categories and invest all the rest. After this, you can see your net worth flourishing. So guys, as always, thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video, and if so, please leave a like and subscribe. And you might also be interested in how I will invest my first 1000 euros, and you can find it here. Bye!